have white guy tacos and
what does
like
that
black,
mean? Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
You are not going to believe the Tim Walz quip that has offended the incredibly weak, insecure, and just plain weird right-wing media. And no, the quip is not about Barbie, or about the Olympics, or about Disney, or about Bud Light, not even about Mr. Potato Head. No, all these things have offended them in the past, but this is a different issue now. This is about spicy food. So Tim Walz shared this clip from his larger discussion with Kamala Harris. The whole discussion's on YouTube, but he pulled out this clip with this caption here saying, "Listen, I'm just not much of a spice guy." So I'm going to play the video for you, and then I'm going to get to the outrage that this has caused.
Like I have white guy tacos and
what does
like
that
black,
mean? Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota, you know.
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge.
You know, we've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, did you figure out why you're supposed to be offended? Donald Trump tried to steal an election. He wants a national abortion ban. He's a convicted felon running to be president. And right-wing media figures are freaking out because Tim Walz made a joke about spicy food, how he doesn't like it as a white guy. This is apparently incredibly offensive. Now, before I get to some reactions here, and some of these people, man, you are going to laugh at how obsessed they are. Like this one guy tweeted last night, like past midnight, into the morning. They're just losing their minds over this harmless quip. So I'm a white guy, in case it wasn't clear. I'm white. I love spicy food. I watched that interview. I'm usually, I wouldn't say I'm great at catching what the right's going to freak out about, because, you know, when it comes to things like Mr. Potato Head, who the hell is gonna predict that? But I watched that whole interview, saw that part. I didn't think anything of it. There was no way I would have thought that they would latch on to that, but they have. It also shows you how little there is to actually attack Tim Walz and Kamala Harris over, that they're grasping at straws here, or in this case, grasping at spicy food to try and criticize him. It is so wild. So let me get to this first reaction here. This is Bonchi, who's a writer for Red State, right-wing website. Writing here, get it? Because white people are stupid. Because white people are stupid and don't season their food. We've all got to learn from Kamala how it's done. Ha ha ha, so original. This is actually a hilarious tweet if it was ironic, but it's serious. So it's a little weird. Ben Shapiro here. See, folks, it's funny that white people hate spices. Not racist at all, just funny. Fact check, Europeans like spices so much that literally got involved in several hundred years of war in order to determine control of the spice trade. Okay, okay there, Ben Shapiro. Just please get back in the locker. All right, Mike Cernovich here, who, in case you forget who this is, I'll get to that in a second. But this is the big revelation to come out of this. It appears, possibly, Tim Walz was joking. Cernovich with the groundbreaking discovery here. Jesus, on a hunch, I thought, I wonder if Tim Walz is lying about how people in Minnesota don't season their food. He won a recipe contest in 2016. And it includes seasoning, including chili powder. Oh my God. Oh my, this is, they got to replace him on the ticket now. It's over. So in case you forgot, Mike Cernovich is the Pizzagate guy, or at least one of the Pizzagate guys. Pizzagate conspiracy theorist. This is the guy that Don Jr. thought should have won a Pulitzer. And maybe he's going to renew those calls since he's discovered that Tim Walz actually seasons his food. Incredible discovery, Cernovich. So a little more from Rolling Stone here. Walz has multiple award-winning hot dish recipes, but his 2016 Tim's Turkey Taco Tot hot dish included diced mild green chilies, medium taco sauce, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. While it's probably his most adventurous take on a hot dish, the overall result remains a decidedly mild baked concoction dominated by its traditional use of ground meat, turkey in this case, cream of mushroom soup, tater tots, and cheese. Walz also has a more traditional turkey trot variation of his recipe, which features nothing that could be misconstrued as spicy. I love this paragraph here. Much like Trump thinking the legal process of asylum might have some correlation to Hannibal Lecter, it seems that conservatives may have confused the hot in hot dish to mean spicy rather than something served hot after being baked in an oven. Fantastic. I want to credit here to the writer. This is from Nikki Macan Ramirez. Great job. Great piece. Cernovich goes on. He's not done. White people don't use seasoning as a trope. There's no setup. It's not a bit. Would he like saying a white guy jumping around in blackface is funny? You need more than a costume. I have read this 7-8 times. I still do not know what he is trying to say. This sentence makes, these two sentences make no sense. I don't understand. He goes on here to say Tim Walz being a pathological liar who lies about anything is a punchline. David Marcus, this is the guy. You're going to see how often the amount of time he has used up tweeting about this thing. This isn't cute. Oh, yeah, be clear. David Marcus is a Fox News columnist. This is a Fox News columnist. This isn't cute. Walz is being used as a clown to mock white people. If Walz doesn't like spicy food, that's fine. But it has nothing to do with being a white guy. So that was posted at 7:09 p.m. Hours later, 10:45, he's still on it. White guy checking in safe from Buffalo Wings, which I gotta say, you got Buffalo Wings with sauce on the side? You aren't beating the allegations here. It to me, it sure sounds like you can't take too much spice, so you got to pick how much spice you put on the wings. Everyone knows sauce on the wings is so much better. And of course, you had to get, I hope that's blue cheese and not ranch. Hopefully blue cheese there on the side to combat the intense spice that is just enveloping your white guy mouth. But he goes on later. This is past midnight now, 12:44 a.m. Jimmy Carter gave the Malay speech. Tim Walz can give the mayonnaise speech. This guy is still on it. He's not done. The next morning, 10:40 a.m. Weird that Biden and Harris never did any comedy sketches where Joe was the goofy white guy mocking his own background. I think this was his first tweet of the day. This guy woke up angry thinking about this. The first thing he thought about, I cannot believe they joked about the white guy not liking spicy food. Wild. Miranda Devine here, who is a New York Post and Fox News writer. This is his entire role. The Uncle Tom of white rural males. Matt Walsh, who I have blocked for my own sanity. This guy is just such a loser. Tweeting out here, crazy that a presidential candidate can just casually let out some blatant anti-white racism and nobody cares. Imagine if Donald Trump said that a black guy taco was made with fried chicken and watermelon. Nuclear meltdown. Is Donald Trump black? How are these scenarios possibly the same? So stupid to think this is racism. Oh my God. This is incredibly dumb. I brought up, in case I wanted to address this stupid ass comment, I brought up some literature here in a minute to help explain the myth of reverse racism, but we'll get there. Mark Jacob here, who's not a right winger complaining about this, but is giving some context, saying here's JD Vance saying in 2021 that the Italians, Irish, and Germans brought crime to the U.S. Look, if you want to talk about anti-white racism, I'm not even saying this applies, but hell of a lot closer than Tim Walz making a joke about spicy food. So listen to this.
You know, I think it's one of these things that's evolved over time, right? So obviously you had this massive wave of Italian and primarily Italian, Irish, and German immigration, right? And that had its problems, right? It had its consequences. You had higher crime rates. You had these sort of ethnic enclaves developing. You had inter-ethnic conflict in the country where you really hadn't had that before.
So this approach to immigration where he puts it on the immigrants as opposed to a system that doesn't prioritize humanity and human rights. I mean, this shows you this backwards worldview. But again, like, how isn't this at least more anti-white than a joke about spicy food? So let me briefly just touch on this. Maybe add something to actually get out of this video, as opposed to just a bunch of right-wing losers freaking out. So this is from the Alberta Civil Liberties Research Center. They help to explain the reverse racism as a myth. While assumptions and stereotypes about white people do exist, this is considered racial prejudice, not racism. So racial prejudice refers to a set of discriminatory or derogatory attitudes based on assumptions derived from perceptions about race and or skin color. Thus, racial prejudice can indeed be directed at white people. For example, white people can't dance, but is not considered racism because of the systemic relationship to power. Racism is based in power. So that's an important distinction here. While expressions of racial prejudice directed at white people may hurt the white person / people individually or personally and are never to be condoned, though honestly I don't care, they do not have the power or authority to affect the white person's social, economic, political location and privileges. Racism has nothing to do with the feelings. So again, this is actually very important. Racism has nothing to do with feelings. It is a measurable reality that white people are not subject to regardless of their income or status. So I'll link to this below the video in case you want to read more into this. There are many explainers out there, not just this website. But what do you think? Is this joke about spicy food going to sink the Harris campaign? Is it over? Do they have to replace Tim Walz? They have nothing to work with. They have absolutely nothing to work with when this is the comment that they latch onto.